Welcome to the Torahbirthing podcast. Hey, my name is Batya Khan. I'm a Rebbetzin, doula, and childbirth educator. My mission is to help women have the best transition into motherhood that you could possibly wish for, so you could fulfill your tafkid with support and recognize the power that you have. The Torah is the guidebook for our lives. It's the best mindset work that you could possibly do. Are you familiar with it? It's important to know, it's important to learn. So let's do this. Are you always looking for the it factor? Are you trying to do everything exactly perfectly right? To make the right decisions, to not disappoint anyone, to make your doctors and midwives happy, to follow your own intuition, and also to leave everything in Hashem's hands. Some of it is a contradiction and can't work together, but a lot of it works beautifully and seamlessly. The reality is that if you're trying to make everyone else happy, you will still fail, and you might do things that run against your own intuition. So now, to a bigger question that comes up a lot. Can I take a birth course, learn about birth, and make a birth plan, and also trust in Hashem, go with his flow, and leave everything in his hands? Is that a possibility? Birth plans are a really popular, trendy thing that you decide what your options are and what you want to choose in your birth. You get educated, you educate yourself, and you get informed on birth and all of your options and outline your choices, because legally you're allowed to do whatever you want and have the absolute agency over your own body, even during pregnancy. Pregnancy doesn't change that factor legally. Now, here's the thing. Sometimes providers don't remember or don't respect your choices, so it's a good idea to write them down. I highly recommend that. I teach using a template that is simple, straightforward, minimal, and easy for anyone to understand. It's really great to be able to have your options and achieve your dream birth. It feels so awesome when everything works out to the levels of perfection that you desired. It's worth it, and I highly recommend it. So let's talk about the elephant in the room. Why should I learn about and plan my birth if Hashem runs the show and he decides what's going on? Isn't a healthy baby the only thing that matters? Let's look inside and check out the Torah's perspective. So I'm in Shemos, Perek Lamed Tes, Pasuk Lamed Gimel. This is after Bezalel and Ahaliav built and coordinated all the parts of the Mishkan. We know it's taken several parshios, but it says, Vayaviu es ha-Mishkan al Moshe, and they brought the Mishkan to Moshe, es ha'oel, the tent, the es kal kelav, krasav, karshav, brichav, ve'amudav, adanav. They brought all the furnishing, all the clasps, all the planks, all the bars, the pillars and the sockets and all the parts. So why did they bring all the parts to Moshe? Let's look in Rashi. Vayaviu es ha-Mishkan. They brought the Mishkan. Shelo hayu yecholin lahakimo. They couldn't put it up. Ulefi shelo asa Moshe shum melacha b'Mishkan. And since Moshe didn't do any melacha, any of the work for the Mishkan, hiniach lo HaKadosh Baruch Hu hakamaso. Hashem let him be the one to put it up, actually. Shelo haya yachol lahakimo shum adam mechamas koved hakrashim. No person was able to put them up because the krushim, the pillars, were way too heavy. She'ein koach ba'adam lizakvan. And people couldn't put it up physically. Umoshe ha'amido, and Moshe put it up. Amar Moshe lifnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Moshe said to Hashem, Eich efshar hakamaso al yedei adam. How is it possible for a person to humanly actually put it up? Amar lo, Hashem said to him, Asok ata biadcha. You get busy with your hands. Venira kimo. And he was looking like he was putting it up. Vehu niskaf vekam me'elav. And actually, it went up by itself. What happened with the Mishkan is that they put in a lot of hard work building it, and we've been learning about it in the last few parshios here, but they couldn't put it up by themselves. So they went to Moshe, and Moshe said to Hashem, how is it possible for a person to do it? And Hashem answered, it's going to look like you were doing it, but really it's Hashem's hand. This special and holy home for Hashem needed to be built in a unique way. And it was too much for humans to do. But Hashem still wanted the physical work done for it to look like humans were the ones doing it. And they had to put in a whole lot of effort and expertise. So back to birth. We all love healthy babies. And yes, that's the top thing that everyone wants, naturally. But guess what? That is out of our control. So saying all that matters is a healthy baby is essentially taking Hashem out of the picture more than learning about birth and making a birth plan. Because not all babies are healthy, and it's not the only thing to worry about. Saying that you will do anything and everything to have a healthy baby and nothing else matters is the ultimate of trying to push Hashem out of the picture. Why is this so? What's the right way? The way that the Mishkan was built is the right way. The Mishkan was Hashem's home in this world. And it made space, it made him comfortable down here. That's exactly what you're doing in the birth process. You are making space for your baby and bringing Hashem down into this world in a major way. Like we've said before, it's a partnership. They built the Mishkan by human labor, expertise, and going through the motions. In labor, choices are going to be made. You have a whole physical process to go through. There are experts in birth that we go to for help because Hashem wants the process. But someone has to make the decisions in birth. Someone has to have the preferences. Someone has to care about how this goes down and make a plan. If you don't make that plan, your doctor or midwife will ultimately choose for you about all the options in labor, epidurals, inductions, and C-sections. They will tell you what to do and you will just do it. So yes, we need their advice, and the Torah gives a place for doctors and midwives, and they play an important part, and we need them. But Hashem created the most important player in birth as well, and that's you. And he gave you all the intuition you need to make all the choices. Women have an extra amount of bina, and this is one of the main reasons. You could get yourself informed. You could know all of your options and then make a birth plan. Obviously, I'm going to recommend my course for this, but you could also know at the same time that Hashem is in control and really nothing we're doing is set in stone. And I talk about this and go through this as well in my birth course. But it's super important to go through the motions. And that's why I teach this. Because Hashem wants it. Hashem desires the process from us. That is why I love to talk about the process. Bezalel and Ahaliav used their expertise to build the Mishkan. And they needed help. So they went to Moshe. Because you can't physically do everything yourself. You need other people to help. So ask for help. Everyone needs help. There's no shame. The only way we differ is in the types of help we need. So everyone needs some other type of help. But nobody is self-sufficient. At the same time, that's for the human side. But also, no human could actually put the Mishkan together. It only looked natural. It wasn't actually natural. The reality is that you can't give birth. It's not natural. You can't do it. Science can't really explain it. It only looks like you are the one doing it and being in control. Your birth plan is important. Going to the hospital, the birth center, or giving birth at home, and all the other choices you make in between are super necessary. But the control is all an illusion. Because Hashem is walking with you and doing it for you every step of the way, just like he was the one who actually built the Mishkan. Birth is a crazy miracle. If you think about it, it makes no sense. How can a 6, 7, 8, or even 9+ pound baby be inside you, then come out and be born and be a whole person? No matter how it happens, it's so beautiful. But here's the thing. It's only Hashem making it happen. It's only Hashem that can guarantee a live baby. But if you put in the work, that's what Hashem wants. You have to put in the work. You have to make the choices in labor. You have to go through the discomforts of labor and birth. No matter how you do it. I shouldn't be saying labor, really, because some women don't go through labor and only have C-sections. And the only thing that's true about C-sections is that they are differently hard. Epidural births are hard. Unmedicated births are hard. Different types of hard. Regardless of how it's happening, how you're doing it, Hashem wants the process, the planning, the pain, the hardship, the decisions, the disappointments. He wants all of it. But also, he's right with you through them. Moshe looked like he was putting up the Mishkan, when really it was Hashem. Hashem was right there doing it all for him. And that brings us to something that is possibly the hardest part of birth. Harder than all of the pain, all of the planning, all of the hardship, all of the decisions, and the disappointments. It's also probably the biggest difference between birth and the building of the Mishkan. And it's in the last pasuk of Shemos, right before Chazak. Ki anan Hashem al ha-Mishkan yomam. The cloud of Hashem was on the Mishkan by day. The eish tiyeh laila bo, and there was a fire on it at night. L'einei kal Yisrael b'chol masayem, before the eyes of the entire Jewish people in all of their journeys. No matter where the Jewish people went, in all their journeys in the Midbar, they could clearly see Hashem's presence in the Mishkan with them. Sometimes it's hard to see Hashem's presence in our births. Sometimes it's hiding in big or small ways. But every way is important. Every way makes it so much harder. Sometimes there's birth trauma. Sometimes there are bad outcomes. Sometimes things don't go our way. Sometimes the birth seems like it's never gonna end. Whether it's the big stuff or the smaller stuff, it's all in Hashem's hands. We are in Hashem's hands. So I'm going to end off with Moshe's tefillah for the Mishkan builders. Amar lahem, Moshe told them, Yehi ratzon, it should be Hashem's will, shetishre shchina b'maseh yedechem, that the shchina should rest in the work of your hands. Vihi noam Hashem Elokeinu aleinu, and the pleasantness of Hashem should be on us. So my tefillah for you is that you should be able to clearly see Hashem's hand throughout. It shouldn't be dark, and you shouldn't feel alone. And you should see Hashem's hand in your hard work with all the brachos and clarity from the first moment throughout motherhood and in every aspect of your life. I would love to hear what you think. Message me on Instagram @Torahbirthing or send me an email, torahbirthing@gmail.com.